Bonswa wo mene sempa de brane mamba obi som
Masomo asempa 94.7 FM Ekosiisen dwumedie no wasoguso a utie no ma yenamu nyina asene yensan ma makwaba emfa momra asempa FM so medin dio sayibonsu yedamu nyina asesonko American edi atomanim se o adwentra ye WhatsApp number 0548 443 523 0548 443 523. You stream show in so live with YouTube. Oko YouTube, you just have to search for Asempa 94.7 FM. Asempa 94.7 FM. Na o comments no dey go live comment session. Hone ya share ajemre akai amount. Very important. Be part of our show. Be an active listener, not a passive one. Contribute to the show. Yebe kind we are singing so at wonka. The Honorable Pius Hadzide abekansa ewo studio ha. The spokesperson officially for Team BA 2028. BA Brian Echampong, who is MP for Abetifi constituency, former agric minister of the Republic of Ghana. Honorable Pius Hadzide akwaba net saying
many obi midase nyame adom etinkwem
jimedise ache
obi ampa sisi ano ye di amanyosem no akọ your constituencies near regions
yes
enti ampa
ba se
bibia but ye ho nyina no na ye monitor adwuma pa mo body boa ye man Ghana ye bebo aba so Asempa FM titu Ekosiisen program e boa papa da mo so mon koso na no kredi a mo de ye dwuma mo de mo nsuro tumi o obi nsuro tumi ade na ye fita ubeka ne se ye fita enti na wagidin e wo Ghana eni amano no nyina na esojaman for Eastern region, ni Volta region na enra na me wo ho omo se me nchiao papa.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, yes, him say we play key role in the NPP both time amu opposition after mobile power. See amasia ko opposition bio. The party is trying to restructure itself and put itself in shape for the next general elections in 2028. Within more activated processes, I'm going to new leader. Nipa be braina na express interest. So munya flag bearer na umubedi. What decided say we supported Brian Echampong? Reasons near day.
Yobi, me that's in the dika mami ensancha na minchia Asempa FM.
Yes.
Tiefoni ahwefo na ye no kre. Se na wodi kan na de NPP amanyo ku no. Baby ayegina sese na kanya ha ena yemu bi epese nka yengina dodo na migidi se yenyina mpo na Ghana fo na nka sampo no enye aha na nka omunya ya nka NPP ya begina sese opia bontin na one Ghana fo edi nkomo ambe ma wati asese se wo hwa amanyoku a ewo Ghana, especially in the Fourth Republican dispensation party omutai se omuti akonwa so no mudia de Ghana for ordinary Ghana for etuminya esonfa so no NPP aban opa ode fa se enkola ebeko school a omuntu akapre primary school kusi JHS FQ program no NPP yera John Ajekumkufo apenso na yedi bai o hwese enkola beko school a awofo enu aduane ma won aban no age mpanyi age sa adesua no hawo no afri awofo so a friend school feeding a NPP aban apenso na san hihye na baaye yakwantu ho asem se ubefru kafri enkran akọ Kumasi anase akọ ho anase Atimpoku a yebeji ufufufu aka na wutim kwara no kapapa ye friend no metro mass nhihye ya ebua ye papa no eguso a ebua no NPP apenso odi ko wanimu kakra secondary school na ya disuane ohaw kese ye binom ye ko school da bia meka me papa sa ase no koto ya metumi wie school Bishop Herman College a ene obi me so me ne wo betumi abetena studio ha me nim nkofo na yeku school na omukra na kire made but secondary school fees ntino oman tua so na ene sa ohaw no so no eni hobium NPP Yera Akufo-Addo apenso ena sanhihye ne nyina ebae adokitafo a womu epese omuntua omadesua eso womu school fees Yera Akufo-Addo apenso sa adesua no so ntiniame kan se ubisa yebekere se NPP amanyo ko ne de so mudi ade a Ghana fo no yenya so mfaso menka se be ye so abofo woyɛ dia ye nipa yi de sinto ba ku mienu ebe wo mu eba yebeka ho asem no kre yenye nkata so mu aso na ye Ghana fo no mu dodo no ya se ene NPP enye yen na ye de ade echese nhihye pa ne kanko a ye de aba no yanhwe yi a ye besana asan ko ye chi asan ko ye dadam enti eye no krese wo se ye nyina ye nsori waka na ye nyen nhihye na yempe edikamfo ne mpanyi a wombetumi abeso ade yi mu na yasano afa ye ntuma pa afra na Ghana fo ebesana nya amemu emu mfaso na NPP fo hwese nano ya yetu aba NPP aban yen ya boye humodi afa babunu bebre e wa aban dwuma mu ne ya ye private sector ne de yen fancy nchen creating the enabling environment for private enterprises to thrive na Asempa FM ni Joy ni multimedia mo betimi anyini se da mo anyini expand mo hwese na mo ye ba kope enne mo outlets ni bebre is because there has been an enabling environment here. Businessmen who wo mo kakra wo mo invest in production etumi ejuma. For instance, dum sona na ekum businesses no. Yes one businesses expanded and employed people, but I'm not even talking about private sector gains no. I'm talking about public sector. Ya fanipa impimpim ejumemu. Na aban bi aba. Na omudie omabe pamo nkrofo no omo ye Ghana fo na no na metie na me wo me constituency na me penyin baako me amadamfo na oye former Adenta MP NDC
Kojo Asare
was say ni woman organizer as any deputy ni
deputy woman organizer kuno
ya pamo no
yes
oye deputy woman organizer kuno tie ende ye ne ya but and many of them because MPP ye fanipa no yende yenim say Ghana for ne to abama enti say uye deputy woman organizer kunukura yende enye ho na yehwe once a uye Ghana ni a wuso ukura abasu body krata na eche se obetumi ayesa adwuma no ya fa ya pamo mu nyina ebi MPP for ebi so ye NDC for na menia na ka no
yes
enti no the longer we stay in opposition the more the people of Ghana suffer. Until you be a udwini Ghana for who say minua penyin Eduasare epese ade no yenjaya. The way out is for NPP to come back. Until ombeka ye ho mbu ayen. Onke bi ma Yera bra na champon. Na NPP yensa be dia de ntem. Until we are worried not just as NPP Ghana for nyina about where we are at the moment. Na yekoto abana no na e wo say yetumi nya botre na yen bisa ye say e ba ne sen
yes
e de na si ye tan komo no yeguso a yedi e bi ye kukwem nkomo e bi nso ye nkomo a ye ni osi ahenifo wo NPP mu e ye delegates ye senkunwa ye be ka ho asem bebre na nso wo ho a mu nsenchefo mu ate ti party na ti committee bi say yenye hwehwemu na ye kɔ ne nyina no na ye tinsem committee no ba ye na on be hia yen na amanfo ye kansem e kire se e wo se yetumi ye na yempe bebunu bimbra obia
mo new leader na also ye bebunu useful
e bebunu no hu e wonimu
okay
bon ebiom ye hia penyin bia obetumi aka party na bom wotemi wakame no ya doso e wo yamanyo kono heat wo system no mududu
within MPP
na okomusu wa wo beka no kre no na ye nimba bia a hit ni free na ye nimba bia hit no ko enti ye didi sana wo se wo mi da mi gina we afa na we so mi da mi gina we afa na we ato amane we na we ato amane we na ye didi sa ye kwa abato no kura na ye nkasa ne bi na NDC fo akosomu na omubo etia but the fact of the matter is that nanu ye ko thank you to ayekoi impenya omudi ye nimu no omo a wotie wo mukasa wotie ni yi a wo mo akasa kasa ebinu mukasa ene ma ye lusu yi wotu ase se sa ne ba ne dia mi madwenu mu se ye akotuma omo a ye kasa tia wo mo no omo kasa tia wo no so mo da ho tia ase se wan kasa waji atumu se eye osimesi bi ni ye ni kasa ye wunte ntina oye saa ene ha adwene a mi ameti obi mi wo tumi a metumi a hye wo bo se ye san koto aba na ye yi empanyimfo na ye di omuko ye ne pepepe mi wo tumi a mi wa ha se mi wo magic bi a meye bakuna ye se okasa dodo no obeka na no atum. Do I have that power?
No.
What I have a power to do nini se wona se bi penyin bi kasatia wona se saa na ebe kono na ya se na lusu biom na yen MPP for ye bre adenta kumi otini fi otini bebi wakasa keke o ya be che no. That's how far it has gone. Chairman want to me bail sisiano bail no ye di twiason. Bail is not supposed to be punishment. Anka MPP ene war abemwa ni adenta kumi komu no anka onkomu da ni ayewra wontumi komu anka onkomu da oye boni mpo na se ye ne ebe ka ye de mra no ene be ye adwuma nti no ye kwako detaining no more than 48 hours ya anka ye de be court because sana mra na kire but ye ni abem nti we have absolutely no control about that. Ye free one ye koye no ye nua ba ko ba fast stop ya che no a che ne yire ukambo mu a yesi omunkope 80 million Ghana cedis you enfambra answer ya jaon enti wo ye MPP ni na medie mahana mejina saying na mepe na yesi and we ourselves are admitting and confirming say ebinu mukasa enema ye lusua nipa no so omoda ho tiase. What's the guarantee that this time around they will not do? If they do it again, then this one ebesan continue.
In your call is party a compromise.
A compromise candidate is the word Obi Wabing. Because on the other hand, no so no. Say ba kubi call esu koya. Why you see una ubo me yema men to me winning? Say wusu waba media mimbo nsema media mimbo na unko winning. The two elephants will be fighting and yeah what family MPP for no na yeah bre. So we need a compromise candidate who is capable of unifying the party whilst at the same time no he's appealing to several demographics. Ebini bebuno na maka kire ono. We enye rocket science. We enye se or time be na ye woma obi o. I am telling you Obi, we have fantastic people in our party, including our former vice president,
yes,
including Honorable Kennedy Japan, including Dr. Educhum, including Kwabena Japan,
yes,
including Boache Jaku. We have the men, indeed we do, fantastic men. They will make fantastic presidents. But how to get there? And here's strategy. And here no credit say yankasa no yebedi yehu no kre. Where we stand, baby ejina no nye. Obi yekoto aba. There are about 7 or so regions. presidential constituency baku crying we need. This is the reality.
I think for constituency the money MP crown no 5.
Oh, Greater Accra.
Okay, me make region. Regions are MP crown no 5.
Yes.
5 other regions so mukabo munya 5 MPs.
Correct.
And for 10 regions munya just 5 MPs when
MPs no.
Yeah.
But winnings for the presidential
in the
constituencies
okay.
Okay. It's even worse than what you just described. Baby impo parliamentary candidate winning krano na Mahama abetwaye. That's what I'm talking about.
Even when MP ni winning.
Yes.
Into presidential no lose.
Yes, in some areas.
In some constituencies.
So we need to do massive introspection. Ebi o anya candidate ni fault o. Anya nipa ni fault.
Okay.
Min kasa.
Yes.
But there are circumstances beyond human control.
But would those circumstances not require a change in nipa odi manim eko abatu onim?
Me my answer would be that yes.
Okay.
Look, me politics am aye nyina no. Me nim say to win an election no. Ye cra 4 M's bia. Ehun hia. Okay. Me nyano 3 cra. The machinery. And a party, the vehicle that delivers the power. That's the machinery.
Yes.
We have to talk about our machinery and fix it. So there baby asin to be our machinery mono. We have to be candid. Then there's a message. That's the second M.
Yes.
Then there's a messenger,
which is the flag bearer.
That's right.
Nipa odi.
That's right. In any elections, of course, there will be the M, which is maybe money, but I mean, or resources in general.
Resources.
But because you say 4 M's, so you have to look at all of those. Problem. So we cannot just isolate the machinery and say, okay, machinery no, you better discussing. We have to evaluate our message, and we have to even look at our messenger.
The messenger.
But you see, Adiba Kubia is critical and say, even the message reinforces the messenger, and the messenger reinforces the message. Assembly wa ubi obekambia no say assembly kra onu na ekante no
obi anfa
what you say. Yes. For instance na COVID-19 enti aban hihye ye papa ya ye. I mean, you can compare me nim say anka ye to aba 2020 na candidates Fufrobi Nana Ewo Yenima, we could have won because between 2017 and 2020, I mean, Obi Obeka no Krebia, because Ghana was on a different pedestal. Taxes and near Yabeyi tax baku, na ya fechre, na ya di bebre, abeshemu, abra, because we have parliamentary majority, within 30 minutes, yet to me passy sensitive tax. Under certificate of emergency, Abrananu yana eka budget to Akufo-Addo in his first term over 17 taxes, either abolished completely or reduced drastically. But could you COVID-19 aba, and then the attendant challenges be aba we are seeing na. And at that time Agbeka NPP and record until one year careful now in the selection of your candidate. 1 year careful now select candidate bia. Nipa kai sa emrenu problems e wo mu a onu na ebe kai no. So again, we have to be politically smart and be strategic. So my direct response to the answer then say, will it require
a change
in the candidate?
And also
the
yes.
answer is yes.
But if say ebe require change, I didn't know what's a change near Brian Champon.
Exactly, that's where I'm coming to.
Okay.
Because I just said to you, sir, and yet change for change sake, a change to be able to win power in 2028 for everybody. And to know, oh, Sisa, you have to also be deep in your thinking in terms of who. And I mean, my first point to say, you were a brand tier mujamunubia, wonuno afana fani nyinano, womuni omuye close, omuye fine. And to we ye Brian. Biara ni party mu obeka se oni Brian e wo problem to obeka sa tiano and say Brian aye bibia tiano enti yaudie bi woni mu there be. That's not the sense I get. That's not the sense on the ground. Or you ubia nim say waboa party ya boa candidates ya ye kan wo mo betwa mu nyina no waboa wo mu papa
waboa mo in the sense
of provision of resources impossible ye de campaign no kra waboa. And you know there is no bad blood. And to say ye the Brian kwa compromise candidate no until we be say if there must be a change, one must it be Brian. It's because one and Amaka no say you're a great unifying force and factor in the party. But again, so no, you hear Obia, what these attributes of discipline, he's decisive, and you say, oh, he will take a decision and stand by it, and a critical quality of a leader. And he's results oriented. What they are debating and so sending san can on jai. We need a bold and a courageous leader. Obi, and yamina mekon Electoral Commission for Nankasa Ababontia Beka say 2024 abana yetu ye no. Baby wo hwa. Wo munu ye be foresee wo mu say wo mun dia declaration say party fufuro bi na awini NDC na awini obi me buana. Tema ho baby ante say Electoral Commission empenyin for no say NDC for betushi omuso e foresee womu. And you saw videos of members of parliament, now ministers, any NDC activists going around collation center to collation center determining the outcome of the elections. Adam Waubi, they were the ones who were telling the people say munyani say
Asempa FM
ye bema ye bema baby aye jina say no ye bema. You understand what I'm saying? Now mean canning in our bonting. Only me jidis over mammy akwenya my mouth Brian profile.
Sure.
Only say where this ojada.
Okay, in Ghana.
There be a man in America. Now only say soldier for America soldier for you know they don't leave their men behind. They don't leave their men behind. Say be ko okuno. Na weja wechi. It's a part of their part of their training. They don't leave their men behind. Yasisi yache NPP. Nano abana etu ya no. Especially in terms of parliamentary. Sitini bebre wa hwa. Nyame o hatasuru. Enim say NPP yedin kunim. Hwe Ablekumanov. Ya to about 7 months near NPP are winning Ablekumanov. As we speak now, only parliament.
Official results have not been declared.
You are just oh, na say abano you to the police station. You can police station. Your boy will be at and you 1 2 3 1 + 1 is 2. And your boy banama wetia. There are only 3 police stations outstanding. We know the results of those police stations. They were announced publicly at the police station. And you kabu mo onim say NPP winning. Ebana saying e bin see da e wo Ghana ya bakosem. And leadership is not just about biting the bullet, but it's also about taking the bullet. But say you kwako to about NPP ye be yiri ye ho ye campaign. Ye nda nso be bu yen. Yakoye campaign. Na ya yewie na yen ya to aba Ghana fo atiase ato aba ma obi. Na party bi abejia abana free ensem. Then why did we have to suffer? I didn't think I in the first place. But you know, who bet me the one dance here? Said the Brian a champion that you know. say MPP din kunimu a obema ewiase nyina hu say MPP din kuninti yem fama na say yedin kuku so a unim say Brana Champion beji atomo say yedin kuku, but we will have to be sure say yedin kuku ansana. But in this case we are sure that we won in many of the constituencies. And to do a FMA polling station for no we omo bro share me constituency NGO BBC public toilet madaro mamia na me de onkoi nti I know the story. Ye wi aba no NDC for no be pamo nipa oda toilet na no ebu no na omususu say eye abayin public toilet bia echire na yema omuhu say we de nka ho o ma pam nkrofo nyina o ma dwene mu no eye NPP for na nati public toilets na no nti o ma be pam omu nyina na omu ene omu no mu tenatena no market stores omu tua ticket polling station for no enim say ye wie no na NDC for ni nam nkrofo fie we NPP ni ma me hwe wo dem say wo na wo gi to market tools na they were breaking some of them their doors, entering, forcing say ya yesusu say mu na moji tools no enti many of them cry nya omo na moji school feeding in some instances the women organizers ye aduane si ja so nkola no aduane no ye bedum ja no di aduane ni etugu yi say yesu ye ba be ye school feeding no obi are you saying say MPP for no yen santana se na sadie ensan koso beyond 2028 yana the delegates they know well na ni ayeye ni American again I'm saying to you say min kan bebiada in a mountain so say Brana Champion kan be say edikanfo no wo munye enti yempam won there be wo see yenja strategic na yenka no kre na mpe candidate ya wo betumi aye nneoma na me kan sesi ase yehia say ye be ye no party no mo
ba ebi mun so aka say so elections were even though a presidential primaries no a national in character because delegates no are drawn from across the 276 constituencies around the country.
Correct.
Is Brian as a brand, you know, or a national brand? Wherever you stand in this country, mo party for ni no.
Obi, Brian wajidin pa. Mimi ni Brian ne na wadi impenyimfo no bebree eche. Ti say party delegates ne dia. I am confident that and they say no problem kwa. Me, I think that maybe the general elections was say to me na yen ton a year na ene abefo ni bi aba no say ye beton candidate and share the nyedinsa obi wo ka say unim nipa dodo etie o
sure
enti Brana Champion enye ti say sebi nananom apenso a e wo say yetumi di wura ahemfie bi ansa na say edan bi am ansa oh enna me ni wo ka say nipa pimpim na ete. So in today's current political dispensation, marketing a candidate that is marketable no enya dia sebi tin bebre ene be over 70% of the people of Ghana are consuming content on mobile phones ubiakura enti we are serious ya within 30 minutes ubetumi ama assembly apeti Ghana henyina. You don't have to go to everywhere. But I'm saying that beyond that, no, Brana Champion in the NPP is a household name
within the NPP.
Yes, only J Kufa Yejuma. Ono nenye posinibre. Look, na no yekoshia Kufo say na wo kura de ye babetwemu mukae penyinka. Oh, ye babetwemu 2008 o baby. Nanka CEO of DVLA. Mi kachire wo. Una wonye posinibre. And I run a church mu say 2008 na campaign no akodu ni pompo so enti na ono no opese okofem ko yedwuma ma party no yes afina 2008 aka be a few months na akoto aba na okotena office say oyedwuma otherwise anka Akufo penso ena na nko bedi sa de breakers yi chief executive of the DVLA.
But I know, sir, no, an appointment letter by some few days to the general elections.
Yes. And also, adie yikurane die, yenko fem na yenko yedwuma. The Kufo had the conversation, and this is testimony from witnesses. Kufo had this conversation many months before December. Now, with the Kufo ye campaign, Edi Akufo ado eche, I can bear testimony. When him say before I ever called 2016 general elections,
yes.
I was one of the campaign aides to
former President
Akufo-Addo. Baby oko yena na yena nuko. Me Asenso Buachi, Eugene Ahin, Abujinapo, Nite Kotego, Fati, Abubakar, Abayima, Napagatia Sulemana, and then Musa Superior. We were the campaign aides. Brenda Champon was virtually with us everywhere. Apart from being one of our biggest financiers for the 2026 election. Me see, hey,
for the 2016
for the 2016, sorry, for the 26 towards the 2016 elections, no. Say to watch juma na ye. But Usha schedule no so say ye ko bipo no so ye be ko Eastern region ko kwa.
Yes.
Ah na ye adani a prepare between ye no say why never ko. Because okowa ube free one na penyina odi na chikra no usre na we.
Yes.
Heavy support. Now we are not coming to government. And enye resources ne keke. Eya onu ankasa di echire. So he's known, but by na champion is not somebody opedede ewo ne niamahu. He believes in more action and less talk. A man for cars, a man for car motorbikes, a man for car resources. Now some of us are worried, say, must also come with here. But me name say humility no need no we are say we are there. Na no na me ne obi ye interview. And obi sa me say Brana Champon. Ne manomo say na me ka say onu ankasa no de the manomo ye mienu esan ye bebre onti ase. The manomo ye bebre because Uko Achimota, for example, say
Achimota
school. Obi Udia Upa Suma producers and the journalists no mukubisa over 70 people. E Achimota school. Onu ne hwe almost school fees atari ombehye ne ombedi. Enti onu no de ohun san microphone nyina Achimota school de nkwa na maka we o. Ohun san microphone nyina
say omoye ne ma
no mo. Nanu Presec. So no ye Christian
old boy
into ye presbytery
sure.
Into Honoko school. We see 6 units classroom bungalow masters bungalows baby omo chira de teacher for no ebeda no 6 units ewo na de no ho. But you see ena maka no say baby ye gina sese no makan apima nati. So marketing an achiever, marketing a marketable candidate, no, and no enye difficult. It's an established man here. Ye de no kwa Ghana for beton. Look, ebinomo can say, oh business, oh na ye what businesses. Brana Champon, ni amimi ni munkuya no, busumi suya, utuya close to 3,000 people on market here. That's the number of workforce our war. You know that the biggest hotel Africa and Ghana Nidia Brana Champon.
Yeah, Rock City.
That's right. The Republic Media Group no. Businesses bribri. So a say ye pe businessman ya. Oh, ye pe businessman. na business for no or more complaining. If you want one of the astute businesses and businessmen, to me and kind bakumi no abra, irabra na champion di ambem. Very astute business person. One of the largest IT companies in Ghana into IT belongs to him. Many do not know because he doesn't believe in Dedene Bribre. Na ebiom se huma asem na yeka addition na certificates na se NPP for yepe doctor. You know that he's or PhD Ghana University
from University of
Ghana.
Yeah.
Was a doctoral candidate terminal stages. University of Buckingham.
Yes.
PhD in security and intelligence. And the answer na yebe to abano.
Na doctor me no.
So doctor Brian Achanti doctor na yepe dia. Onu die.
And onu die enye honorary. Doctor. PhD.
That's right. Jenu na yepe dia na nka onu no kra me no. Masters Bibri. Nano yeko oko kasa wo Unimac.
Yes.
On AI artificial intelligence ya abai. Professors ya omo chira de e wo Unimac. And Unimac ye school agidi ni pa. Former GIJ and University of Media Arts and Communications. Professors say abrantie yasu ande bebre afri ho. Yasu ande bebre afri ho. So he's an all-round person. He's dynamic. He's resource-oriented. He's disciplined. And he's decisive. And to yes, party for. Say we in your time. Say ye bedi enkunim. Ama yen party for no ye wato yen. Na Ghana for anya infasuo. Ewo amemu no mutino. Emrenu dura. Irabra na champon. Odini ding ebeko. Yebebo apro. Ghana nyina. Yesremu untie na asem no yie. Na mumfa nkwa dwendwemu. Na muntu aba no emfa ma no. Na obeka party na bom. De denini ho ye no beba fam. Ebiom no obedi yanim akukuduro mu mememu. Obesori waka odiye kwa okunu a onjaye ewo ekwantimfin ebiom so no etuo na ayekura no abuba yede beto yede be hyemu atumi etuo no.
Yes.
The resources needed no. Brana Champion is resourceful. So he will be a resourceful and you say onu nkuya botom sika. But now raise because pomponso a wakodru abrabomu no ne nkrofo oni omunam no so ofre ba ku mienu se mumbe so masene a ombetumi aba be so na sene na wo a wo ye polling station chairman, polling station secretary, woman organizer bia wo hia poster, wo hia t-shirt ene bibia wo be hia de aye campaign no umbre bebre wo benya wo de aye campaign no na yasana di nkunim ye di nkunim a school feeding no ubekwa ko ye wo school feeding no because school feeding na ye nua no mo ye ma enkola no sese enkola no ko ye se galene oil and omodi man enkola no. We have seen reports. Obi, I'm sure you have heard. Ama minister no Krabeka said they are disappointed in no in Shishe no omo yasisa no and obi mi bua.
Yes.
And he said NPP for the babe nua red papa bia ma yenkola no mo endi chance ebinumu di galeni red oil be kwa koma nkola na me gidi so bisa wo for na mbeka cho send NPP for kwa school feed no ma ye na ye manumu di red.
How do you respond to omo say okay, Brian, for out of Nkofua, declare an intention to want to become flag bearers, no? Brian is probably the youngest or more years ahead of him. He should bid his time. And then Abekache Ubi Obekasa.
Well, me shouldn't name more makana age. But I'm not too sure, say 52 years, no. We are young, so.
No, I mean, because all young in relative terms, or the compare other.
But that should be a strength.
People who have expressed intention.
No, but Obi, that should be a strength. Contest. I mean, the voters want to see themselves in the people they are voting for.
Now, the majority of the voters are youthful.
Yeah, they are youthful. So that should be a strength. And so they are the campaign champon. Because the people want to relate to their leaders. On the streets, the word is that Brian Champon only more up. Gen Z for bepeno, Gen Alpha for bepeno, yen millennials so yebepeno. Pensioners so no bepeno because in Shisheya or de bano. Ebebwa, look, Ukoni constituency ya. In Penya or more constituency no. Even though he is relatively young, I don't know how many MPs here. Omo to me, a share in Penyin 4. Busumi bia, wayen Shisheye, or thrift shops bia. If you are above a certain age, I'm sure 60, 65 thereabout, ubekon yo pebiano ye the amount to a certain amount of money. The people of Abetifi gave him an opportunity. So he's paying them. He's saying that we are saying that yen NPP for no Ghana for no yen mana kwenya ne oye wa Abetifi no ombe yebi emfama yenyina. I'm saying that penyi bia wa Abetifi bia no busumi bia no Brana Champo epe bibi kakrama o. It is a welfare big ni welfare no mu ye wa America ni nasefo na amanfo aka na asem no Abetifi ne de ye Brana Champo o ye bi dada. So his age is a plus. His age is a plus. Na Ghana baby we say koi ye pe omo a omo betimi di akomerika kakra. Mpenyimfo no omayo mafemu de. That's why the last time Brana Champion say he has enormous respect and gratitude for the forebears. Me try say me continue brofo. Oboyera Albert Edubuahin, professor. And our breaking the culture of silence. SND Kebi Mami Kebi, the first flag bearer of the party, Obonidin, Oboyera Jonah Jekum Kufodin, and Oboyera Nana Dankwa Kufadudin, and Oboyera Mahamadou Baumia Ding say he is grateful to them. But Obi, no can say Obama Beyebi. Na baby ayejina say no. Yanya Moses a omudi yen every nkwansomu ayakodu pomponso obi. Me say nyame enhyehyeye mu no. Brian Champon eye Joshua odi yen NPP eni Ghana eko boshe asase no so. The engine ntum. And again, who are elder of the Pentecost Church? I want you to give me that provision in the Bible. You can say, "Osimesi bi na dua e." And we know and
Apollo ewotai.
Sape.
And Christ brought the increase.
So adie no obi beye na obi atoa so. Apollo to me nsomu say o semina media anase bakuno dua no nsomu say semina media di Apollo on water da na Apollo so abe water no say o Christ me na me water there be yamin shishe ye no. There's a time and season edikanfona yomu de we will eternally be grateful and they will continue to occupy the place of pride in our parties and our nation's history. But we cannot live on past glories. We have to make our own history in our time as NPP4 in 2025, getting into 2028. We have to make our own history.
Brian, and for that matter, all the other aspirants, no, they were within 6 months to prosecute a campaign because flag bearer elections need January ending 2026. A 6 months, a short time to market Brian the Champion for more party delegates across the country. Because I've heard some concern. They say, no, within 6 months, there may be no head start. Because somebody like Dr. Baumia has already been marketed. It's 6 months this Samamo as a team.
Obi, I will speak the Honorable Dr. Brian Champion's mind on this matter.
Okay.
Pachona, I have not seen ye.
Me too, pa.
Brian say, wagye ato mu sɛ yɛwɔ party mpanyimfo bi a wɔn na yɛma wɔn tumi sɛ wɔn nyɛ nhyehyɛeɛ mfama party no.
Yes.
So wɔn yɛ steering committee, NEC, ne national council, ne national conference. Wagye ato mu wɔyɛ disciplined or yɛ law abiding. Asɛm bi a wɔn bɛka bia no ɔno no ɔbɛtie na so pɛm na ɔde ayɛ adwuma. Ne mmom na mpanyimfo no ɛyɛ nhyehyɛeɛ a wɔn entie amanfoɔ na wɔn nto anokorɛ anamɔn. Na anokorɛ ne sɛ wɔn no deɛ sɛ yɛbɔ pere ne ɛna wayɛ krado a obetumi akɔ round but obi abetumi ana sɛ obi ntumi a ɔno so yɛ party ni deɛ ɛwɔ sɛ ɔno so no yɛn consider no because one consider no na ɔno betumi ayɛ enti wo ya ebi a ɛde yawdie bi ɛbɛba saa nipa no mu na yɛwie na sɛ yɛkɔ ɔko ne kɛseɛ na yawdie no momo na ma ɔno momo ate ada but ɔno no deɛ wayɛ krado sɛ ɛkyina mpo ɛna yɛsi yɛn hyase a ɔbɛtumi but ɔmo maka no so now number 2 nanu obi ba e office sɛ yɛsi yɛkɔ akɔto aba no 31st of January next year just 6 months na kai na delegates no sɛ yanto foforo a ɛkyɛ sɛ dada na ɛna bɛkɔ akɔto aba no now no of constituency be from central region.
Yes.
Or the videos be kyerɛ me ɛne yɛwura ne sɛ constituency mpanyini bi ɛne electoral area mpanyinfo ne bi agina simpie so ɛyɛ campaign tia party no in the 2024 elections independent asɛm ya enti party mpanyinfo ne bi a wɔn din wɔ register no mu register na nka ya nye hu hyehyɛ bia ye de bekwa kɔto aba no onu ni din no e wo sa register no mo papa no so kura evidence onu no onye party executive o but odi ne hu bo afode and he is worried say enti mu party say omo aye wa dance ya videos aba say omo kura gina simpie su eye campaign tia party no a party for ebufu no ye kwa kɔto aba sankrofo no ene be sankoto aba no na yen a yede ye hubu afode a yenya executives a yen nam ye campaign no mu susu say you are going to set a bad example say o party mu obetumi di boni na wasa yakonya sonfa so anase bibisa so onu na dwen ne say enti anka yenya butre na yema party no on the ground an opportunity to pass verdict on those individuals say mu fata say mu besan ko yi ye kendi ni anase mumfata. So if the ground passes a verdict onu na adwene mu no sankrofo no ye nto aba ma won biom san nipa no that was his view. Na ye ne sana omu koto aba no a what impression sentiments be be wo film but Dr. Brenna Champo agrees in principle say there may be the need for early presidential primaries. Okay. Because Onunim say, even though he's a marketable candidate, say a man obey 2.5 years he will prosecute an effective campaign. And we can have an early elections, all right, but we can give ourselves some few more months. Not yet the year but if that doesn't happen, and the elections has to be on the 31st of January.
He is ready.
He is ready. Now my personal view is having listened, Mr. Party forces and Kabibi wo minimum National Council and no to me and I decided National Conference so National Council and Kakra. But we change our minds every day. National Council nankasa me Jimmy says omutie sa papa na oni me din komona o kana asem no omutie no na omuhwe in the grand scheme at the end of the day the unity of the party so that everybody feels that we were treated fairly and that we were not shortchanged ebeka ye nyina bomu a I suppose National Council, it is still within their right. They reserve the right to review their own decision,
earlier decision,
and then probably add a few months. But
we've seen and heard some stalwart in the party, throwing support behind candidate A. Yehu MPs Nibia, a Coco declare almost support for Dr. Baumia. Yehu some few MPs in Swa, Omudi, Honorable Kennedy, a Japan, Echi. We are told, say, there are some more indifferent. In Diomono, they've not publicly come out to declare. Party stalwarts, maybe regional executives, constituency executives, former MMDCs, be declare for either candidate A or B. We've not seen much of those in the Brian Champon camp. Adain, and yet something I'm worried.
Debbie. In fact, he's deliberate about say, let's not create division based on fake and procured endorsements. He's deliberate.
Fake and procured.
Well, but you have seen counter we be say oh yes I endorse candidates be na ebinuma ba say debi nya no kre. We have seen even some MPs, some MMDCs and so on. I am sure say that also influenced the decision of steering committee. Now no ya omodi assembly ba abontin say they should desist from
endorsements,
meetings and endorsements, no. Because you see, Yayibida, how did it serve us? It served personal interests, not the corporate interests of the party. And the party no more. Ubia assembly can. Ubetumia confirm. Now we need delegates for no. Na koka. Now we think cry. Wabeta asempa studio delegates be ania. Now we see what the claim will be. Look, some of our delegates they are smart. Omunim say some of the endorsements ukrano among for the pre-post.
Wow.
Na what in crana would want to do na me wo fam so enti ye be wie no ye chiche post no ya ye wo fam ye ntan ye bi. Enti no look there's going to be the people want empowerment at the local level. They want empowerment at the local level. I know people are constituency kra almost wache eyeba in sawakra eyedene, and they think that they can stay in Accra and then omukasa na akoyemra. No, the delegates have become very, very smart.
But these are guys who are influential in our constituency. For example, so be an MP, at least, I mean, constituency executives, polling station executives, or influence.
Say you had to win primaries,
yes,
to become an MP.
Yes.
So we cannot underrate the influence of an MP. Okay, I mean, but we have more constituencies without MPs than even MPs.
Yes.
So
yes.
So in Parliament right now, MPs
88.
And assuming without admitting, say, okay, MPs no constituencies be two. Na baby any MPs no so no ebetua. The numbers work in Brian Champon's favor. But I'm saying to you that I know and I can tell you for a fact, say anka yera Brian Champon sa ni a friend endorsement anka onu so pebi anka ebenya bebre pa. Because uncrophobia to me a free endorsement program I say. Now Omaba Brian Ho says and I say sample no mobeko no
omodi kan fa Brian Ho sir
ya free and say yembe can be bintino ye kwako kan suro agroni film until u call Brian office ya na uti sempenyin fo no bi ba na omokasa agroni film a na ntia se ne say wo de informamu endorsement no wo de amanfo betie ne tra but ye du film a ye ninia ye nimnia yankasa ye kwako ye. So we are not worried. I personally would just have wished to say, at a certain level, no, in Penyefone Bino, Omo and Chiwomo Kakra from the open display of bias and way no openly. Na yemfa ejumano momo enkofem, so that at the end of the day, no mistrust, suspicion. That will lead to division and prevent unity and prevent our victory. No, does not arise because you're a Brian Champon or yet they are obedi flag bearer. He is not able to execute the campaign alone. Yera Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia abeba. Yera Kennedy Japan ebeba. Omo makani nyina abeba. MPs ni nyina abeba.
Yes.
Former CEOs, MMDCs will be abeba. At that point, he has an open mind. He has a clear heart. But you see, obi wohwa onunu na ayɛ diama no sɛ wakɔgyina baabi ɛsɛ wo time echi ɛnɛ deɛ wo bɛyɛ deɛn. Those are some of the little things that militate against our unity and our victory. And to media, my candid advice, yehu bi da yɛwura Akufo-Addo apɛn so na yɛtinima na nkrofo aba. Sometimes we know how we manage some of these things for them to happen. Don't be deceived. From
where we say more question, Emma Pius. Your WhatsApp number is 0548 443 523 0548 443 523. Some few messages now for Yen Trust. We say Obi, kindly tell Honorable Pius that per the party's constitution, to be a delegate, you must be in good standing as defined by Article 3B of the Constitution. It is not enough to be a party executive or former executive. And to say for one to be a delegate, that person should be in good standing as defined by Article 3B of the party's constitution. Idi Muhayudin and Odiwe Abrain. Obi, I've known Dr. Brian Champon, MP, for the past 25 years. We've lived in the same area, Tantra Hill, for the past 25 years. We've been attending the same church, Presbyterian Church of Ghana Salvation Congregation, New Achimota, for the past 25 years. Obi, Dr. Brian Champon is the person who can unite and rebuild the NPP in its current situation. It is time to unite and rebuild the NPP. And Dr. Brian Champon is the man to lead the NPP to victory come 2028. Charles Ni Taiko Tego from Tantra Hills. Let me see. Where say Obi? All the aspirants are fantastic, but in this era of economic instability, Dr. Bawumia is the visionary and inclusive leader for the new economy. Gusty man somewhere in Brekum. Wow, Honorable Pius is really communicating very nicely for Team BA. No insults, focused on message delivery and devoid of attacks. I'm really enjoying him this evening. Master Planner Junior, Ewo Kintampo. Weise Obi, ahead of becoming a republic, the first presidential election in Ghana was held on 27th April 1960. Nkrumah won his first attempt in 1960 with 89.07%. Buzia won his first attempt in 1969 with 58.33%. Liman won his first attempt in 1979 with 61.98% after runoff. Rawlings won his first attempt in 1992 with 58.40%. John Mahama won his first attempt in 2012 with 50.70%. Therefore, it is absolutely false to say that no candidate has won the presidential elections in Ghana on the first attempt. Nipano amfani din anka. Obi, my name is Kwame Acidity. I have for Swa. Ask, okay, my regards to MD of Prestia Sankofa Gold and founder of Asitifi South Youth Project, Honorable Ishak Dauda. Kwame na Acidity. The first part of your message, not very necessary. Where is Obi? Kindly pass a message to my brother Pius Hadzide. I must say, his brother, okay, honestly, Wakan fluence, Obra Fred Agbenyo has made remarkable improvement. And as I was wakase kawana untimi enkabi. Considering Pius's 4-year stay at UCC in Cape Coast and time spent in the Sojaman, one would expect better command of the language, blah blah blah. Kwekuno wa village secretary. Ejumako ekutu ase. Yeah, Michelle Mezo mema unso aka wona. So obetimi aka bia. Yeah, so we say okay, let me do this dedication quickly. Obi, good afternoon. Happy birthday to Grace Jail and Koma Boating, Accra Girls Senior High School, 2 Science 5. Your mom Evelyn and Auntie Irama love you. From Ronaldo Kwame Slash and ono anyway abre yedase papa Ronaldo. We say Obi. Okay. Listening to Asempa FM's Ekosiisen and the contributions of Pius Hadzide, one cannot help but reflect on the many fine minds within the new patriotic party. Dr. Brian Echampong is undoubtedly a dedicated public servant with an impressive portfolio. But in this defining moment of our political journey, Ghanaians are not just looking for competence, they are seeking clarity of vision, consistency in leadership, and credibility that transcends personality politics. Dr. Bawumia represents a generational shift, a leader who is not a product of the old order, but one who has risen through merit, performance, and principle. His story is not one of entitlement or orchestration. It is the story of a man who has earned every stripe on the battlefield of governance and policy. From stabilizing Ghana's economy during times of turbulence to pioneering digital innovations that have transformed service delivery. Dr. Bawumia's impact is not theory, it is felt in the everyday lives of Ghanaians. Derek Ejekum, Research Assistant, Honorable Ekosiisen Asifua, Osai Media Liaison Officer, DMB Pulse, and all the way above. Obi, going by Pius Hadzide's argument of change of flag bearer, it is not out of place for one to also say that he, Pius, should not dare contest the Sojaman seat again. Anyway, all aspirants are welcome, but I am certain Dr. Bawumia will triumph. Sir Obama, Pokwase, writing from Apeguso in the Sojaman constituency. Sir Obama, dear Enono. We say, Obi, our party is gradually shifting, if not already, towards an individualistic path, departing from the foundational values and collective ethos upon which it was established by its founding fathers. Increasingly, personal ambition appears to be taking precedence over the broader interest of the party. With the exception of a few, many of our senior members seem to have been drawn into this culture of self-interest, leaving a vacuum in credible leadership capable of confronting the growing disunity and internal fragmentation. The absence of a unified front is steadily undermining our political fortunes. Let us be reminded that without cohesion, sustained progress, and electoral success will remain elusive. Moreover, the unchecked and often unproductive rhetoric circulating within our ranks continues to weaken the party's public image. This must be addressed with urgency. A strategic, inclusive, and well-considered restructuring of party leadership at all levels is necessary to restore discipline, revive confidence, and refocus the party on its core mandate. Samuel Brian Boabin is in Awoshi. Obi, is Pius not in your studio essentially endorsing Brian? He's a leading member of the party too, no? So why is he admonishing others not to endorse and proceeding to call other endorsements procured? Like seriously? Please tell him not to insult the intelligence of Ghanaians. Wamfenedin Ankaho. Okay, let me see. Quite a number of your messages coming through. Please, Obi, ask Pius for me, what will Dr. Brian do in a situation like he mentioned in Tema, where the NDC supporters forced the EC to declare the NDC candidate a winner? Joseph from Adenta. It may be Pius, you start answering from this question. Other notes now, back to the messages, Bill.
Yo, Obi, Midasi, let me put on record at the very start, say, Meniaji, text messages here about
Asempa FM.
My monitor, my program here, Nkrofobi Bre, spokespersons, and my representatives, Baha.
Yes.
And I am quite comforted, say, Edu Brana Champion, so I'm a Bahano. We are discussing ideas, even from the texters, some very profound ideas. Attempted and shed the probably they have taken cue from the nature of
the Brian
campaign.
campaign.
The Brian campaign, and they are responding like for like. And this is a manifestation for the Brian call. No, say Brian Bar. Nkabumbeba se Brian Bar nkomodie no ebe free sebi atemdidie ne adapatwa no na ye ka nsemo a ehu hia party no ene Ghana nyina. And I'm beginning to notice it.
Yes.
It just say the decision to support a Brana Champion agenda no justified. Even now menu abakubi Derek Ejekum osi oye aid to Mia Madam for
to Ekosiisen. Yes.
Fantastic write up. What treble of one kasa say Abrantia no wabeng. And I don't disagree with Enyamane Bibria Waka. The accolades to Dr. Baumia are not in doubt. And that is why Brana Champo is saying that we need to win an election so that those accolades can become meaningful to the people of Ghana. Dr. Baumia did not have to be president, and he was not president before he achieved all the Myanmar, Minya Ajekum, Ekano. But the people of Ghana need those things. And so we need to win the elections. We need to win the elections. And I will quickly add to say, Ubika say, the party should move away from personality worship, and we should begin to focus on our original ethos of the corporate interest of the party. That's where I stand. Sabrana Champon and the Bebaka party na bumu na akuku damfo na ewo mu nyina aba on board na NPP ye watonya na Ghana ye watonya. So must it be I will not remain stagnant in a place to say e ho na na nra me wo and I say me ni pani ente no me move. We have to speak to the issues why we lost the 2024 elections. Is it not true, say, Yankasaya Jatumu say, in the run up to the elections, no, a faction of the party, any omukasa any higher, that faction of the party, a dinner be if that faction also wins, or more they feel embittered, they feel say, what do we expect their reaction to be? So the foundational ethos, let's look for a compromise candidate. We need power now. The power is for everybody. But you see, unfortunately, no. And that's why sometimes the endorsement concept, you know, is different. My brother who texted,
yes,
I'm a spokesperson for a candidate. My other candidates have my brothers and sisters, fantastic spokespersons. That's different from an en masse and bulk endorsement. And some of the people have told me how their names ended up on some of the lists. So the procurement of those announcements, you know, for any serious student of politics should not come to him as a surprise. It happens. We know endorsements can be procured, especially managed in this en masse and block where ye frame meeting we are not back me no bia kojina baby say ye nyina ye see endorse na e be free chi say o da be ye nka ho. I mean, what can they say? We know procurement and be more na no. So let's deal with these matters in an honest way. And so I don't disagree with a lot of the things. But say Obama, and our text is free or text free. Yes, Apegusu came in over the weekend. I was at a funeral there. I didn't see Sir Obama. Maybe I never call yeah. But me him says Obama no na or pokwasi more than Apegusu. But you see, Obi, if it has to take another candidate for the NPP to win a Sojamana. Why not?
You don't have a problem.
Why not? It is about victory for the NPP. But if he has to take me to win it, why not? But if it has to take another candidate, I'm not going to hold on to it because if you go to a Sojamana, they will tell you the things we have done, really and truly unprecedented, unparalleled, and unmatched. But I'm not going to hold on to it. Say, me and my brain, party, my constituency with all me cardia shenya me nyam na party office kwa ye nibi. Me na me see party office. Am I Sojamana? But I'm not going to hold on to it. Say, chin. If in the wisdom of the delegates, they feel say, for good reason, these and these we have to bring in somebody newer. Man, so be it. So if for good reason, Brother Champo has to come in. Say and yes, Babe threatening kakra say and they also unconscious say a blackmail campaign kakra say Obama pese or born enyumre so Obama me chiao ba wo de ye be sharp egusu na ye di demon common.
Yes.
Now I want to make this point strongly. I don't know, somebody asked a question you wanted me to respond to.
Yeah, it was the very first question. Not say or say then
what would
Dr. Brian do in a situation where some NDC supporters are forcing EC to declare NDC as winner? Said they're not all can.
Well, see, I will not be able to share everything here on radio.
Okay.
But me know when Courage Koshiga, who happens to be my uncle, when he was national organizer of this party, we need power in 2020.
In 2000.
In 2000 with J. Kufuor. 2000 with J. Kufuor. He was then national organizer, and some of us have been students of the Courage Koshiga Institute.
Yes.
Mininishia kukwemua.
Asempa FM.
NPP abrepo na soldier for and in some polling stations, and I'm telling you, real na soldier for we know them. In those instances, some na omuna na ye polling agents ma NDC. In some areas, especially where I come from in the Volta region, Nipano unim so a soldier ni, but I be fear, but a battle dano or run a soldier or polling agent. Ukra ubano. Even then, Courage Koshiga, any Jake Okanta Otanka Obechebi Lamte, who Brana Champon coincidentally happened to be chief of staff too. Na Brana Champon no Jacob Bechebi Lamte, the chief of staff. Yes. To meet device strategy. Jake was then campaign manager. Now Odahuye, Greater Accra Regional Chairman. And na Kufomanu campaign manager. And Edicodin Kunim. So Jake and Courage Koshiga were very much in charge of the operational adiano. And you know, a lot of things should be done and can be done. Enti emrenu dura menuano menenu bedin komo na ya kire no nia party no betumi aye. It doesn't have to be bright, it's the party, but the party has to be led. The party has to be given direction and support to be able to do any bia it was say yeah. But Brana Champon was see, and when he called me to speak to me and convince me, it took some time. I had to think on it, and I had to consult. I had to speak to a lot of people.
Really?
Yes. Because really and truly, say I didn't know follow the crowd na impempi no yen na yeta enti na ye. But upon deep introspection, odwene ade no ho obosumpa ye na onimpanyin edi nkomo a, you begin to see wisdom in the proposition. Say we are not throwing the forebears and leaders, the giants, the men and women, we are not throwing them away. We are rather creating an opportunity for them. Not Ghana for no because the Kobium na winia. All the accolades for Boache, Jaco, all the accolades for Kwame Japan, all the accolades for Kennedy Japan, all the accolades for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, all of those accolades are meaningless if it does not reflect in the lives of the people of Ghana. But for it to reflect, MPP has to be in power. So we had to find a candidate. But one year, the man said, Pius, Okoyi, say Oko Kasamame, and by extension, Bibiara will say, oh, yeah, campaign mame. So kokasatia party penyibi and I say party nankasa you are gone
that day na what you
just a minute you tun kwata ya pai because I cannot be approbating and reprobating on the matter. You see ye per unity, you see ye pen kabum, ye campaign ya can party na bomu. Now who are we campaign no? Who to a yampia? Ma jobs, diatem, cansem, yes schemes, chichire binumu inside guomechi. Who ye now chichin inside gunechi, now uko we need area.
Why on your
Why on
it means that for him sitting back our OTA how our campaign no across so far, especially between some of the camps, no, on a happy person.
No, he's not happy about it. And he's made this point even to them in meetings. As far as he has told me, he has had opportunity to tell them that we must be measured so we can ventilate. There's too much heat. And from leadership and our key campaigners and spokespersons, no, we must ventilate and allow the tensions to come down. So he's not happy about some of the ways of some of our
does he see himself front runner in this race?
Well, we say a winnable candidate in this race. We have to admit that Brana Champo no ebinumu de kind the omudin and sana onudin buy.
Yes.
So we believe that he's a winnable candidate. Nano ya obaye no, and then the polls are picking him. He arguably ono na ye near sebi nedimba bontin kranche bebre and do busumi ba kokura. But some polls I have seen, the polls have picked him, and the polls have picked him over people. Right now, conservatively, we are thinking that what we have done internally indicate to yen say Sisiano or ye number 2 or move neck to neck to near or Israel. And there's still time, so we know that we will have stage and then we'll win the primaries. Na ya party na abomu and execute a strong campaign against whoever the NDC is going to bring. We are going to fight on the track record of our forebears and the vision that Dr. Brana Champo himself has, some of which would fulcrum around youth empowerment and employment. We are talking about food security. So if I talk about youth empowerment and employment, then agriculture and food security are key. Look, when he revised the Planting for Food and Jobs Phase 2, when he revised it, the document that he produced, and then Uko Agric Ministry, and Nuna NDC for Befa, Omo SSR front page, and Omo say Feed Ghana. Ditto.
Brian here for PFJ Phase 2.
Yes, and no Yusu.
And Erikopoku Feed Ghana.
I'm telling you, check it. I'm not saying it's wrong. Sometimes I get worried, say I buy be a share, bibi asina say ya depa. Na abai fufuro bi ba na omejesi o hwe agenda 111 ye hyase a omejesi o akwan hodo bebre NPP ya hyase omejesi o we are complaining about it. So say in the matter of the PFJ Phase 2, if they are able to at least run with that one, then that we should give them some credit. But again, it underpins the strategic outlook of the man, Dr. Brana Champo, in terms of that specific area of agriculture and food security. And then he's also talking about security. On him, the Alpha project. You know that project that saw say these three cameras.
Yes,
above
the whole country.
During his time as Minister of State at the National Security Ministry, and was spearheaded the Alpha project. And that project is helping in crime and law enforcement. Now we are I'm robbery be ekoso adabraka ho baby. Alpha project ne bua ya trackia ekohu say nkofo no eko Asiama ho baby. There was another crime in Kumasi involving some kidnapping. Again, Alpha project cameras no and a bua law enforcement and ayekuhu near. So this is a visionary. This is somebody who wants to see say Ghana. Yes, you bought my idea. You bought yesu yedin. But of course, he's not the only person in the NPP who probably has those capabilities and potentials. But as of now, he's the only person who can give us a first term victory. And I like the history that one of the texters gave. Say eyadia ebiasi pain asibebre entino ebet to me asarase na ebesin so we will win with Brian Achampong, because we will then have a disciplined party, we'll have a united party, we'll have a resource oriented leader who will lead from the front and give us the courage. Say abano eyen dia ampana dia obi be chinchin. Yes sir.
You've probably worked with most of the aspirants, no, as a party person. In one way or the other. Unim Dr. Brian Achampong. So what 3 qualities anyone who are Brian Achampong more other candidates no NEB?
Well, that's a tough one. I'm not sure it's about Omu Nibi. It's a question also of near what done some normal. So I'll speak for Doctor, but if you pigeonhole me as other candidates don't have it, then that's a difficult one for me. So and honestly, I've worked with Brian longer than everybody.
Oh, okay.
To be fair, I've worked with Brian longer than everybody.
Oh, okay.
I told you about Courage Koshiga and
Jake.
And even my personal and familiar relationship with Courage Koshiga, which allowed me to play key roles even before Kufuor became president. Okay. Until from that time, and many Brian, I noticed that he's a cheerful giver. Or you'll be a he's a kind-hearted person. But I also know, say, on pegro, yenibre, yeniabre, na wo diagro, on pe. Ena, okanukre. Say, na yenyina ye wo hompenyimfo no bibi kwa FM. Ye committee a. Ompenyimfo no nyamba ye de na yenwinwi. But maybe, of course, maybe by that time too, he was the senior most amongst all of the team in terms of maybe resources and even age and all of that. So maybe that also accounts for it. But then there were also some people around who were probably older than him, who probably had more resources than him. But Sebibi Nkuya, Brian will be the person that everybody is going to say, this is not going, because in Pennyfonoba, Obeka, but with respect, say respectfully, no. And right, ye can say yes, but you could dream hono. Yes, say and Kayen say ya, Nkebebua, and I say, and right, Niamukokano, Casano, Hono, one can. So he's a bold person, he's not intimidated by power and so on, or Kanukre, and he expects, say, Unini Jumaswa, Ubekanukra, no. There have been several times here, Yaku meeting, na. Or can send be nancrophobi and in the Adrian or to make a choice Mubua, Munkanukran and Jeremy. Nia Osimesi can Ukra, Mia, Mitia, and some minimum sending oka, because and Ramika be before frontino, Munina Muto, line and say, Mukana, I am there. Debbie, Mimpenesa. He's the one who is always encouraging you, say, be critical of him, and tell him the truth, because that is how he is. Or Kanukra, Onye, in Katasumo. So these are some of the unique selling points here. Media me who Yera Dr. Brian. Maybe because I've worked longer with him. That's why I know him this well as compared to the other candidates.
Quite a number of messages coming through. But I was say ending interview, no, and so we say Obi, good day. Great conversation with Honorable Hadzide. I've loved and followed Dr. Brian Achampong and his personality with great vision. Please ask Honorable who manages Honorable Brian Achampong's TikTok account. Have sent a message twice, but his handler of that account hasn't responded. And maybe Pius being the spokesperson now might take interest in Nipao managing, and then we see. So good evening. Give my number to him to call me. One Joseph Morgan, I hear you. Where's a good day, Obi? Can Pius do the party a great favor in listeners at large by elaborating on what caused the party's defeat? Per Pius's admissions, it seems his candidate was in exile when the party lost in 2024. Pius should grease his convincing capabilities by giving us reasons why we lost the elections. His head is on the swivel. He can shoot but he can barely dribble. Minim nipa crowd the way a buy.
Head is on the swivel, you can dribble. I mean, a rhyme come on, but Mintias.
So Ekosiisen is the high asempa 94.7 FM. We say, okay. Let me see the other messages we have here, and then I can read where 5 messages near the Enkomono Aba area. Okay. We say Obi Pius has spoken very well. I was thinking he's coming to throw some tantrums, but he has really done well. But the truth is only one. And he believes Dr. Bawumia stands tall. Okay, Mr. President, Denmark and Odiwe Abba. Fantastic delivery by Honorable Pius. I agree with him on Brian being the best candidate. With the tension between DMB and Ken, Brian can unify both camps. Please, can Pius repeat the Joshua analogy? One mellow, Ewo Abelempe here in Accra. Where is Obi? Tell Pius that a Sojaman is waiting for him again. I can confirm that Pius built the new party office for Sojaman constituency, and we are grateful for that. Chairman Eben, and another way Abraying. Wesa Obi, in fact, the gentleman in your studio has earned my respect, and it should continue like that so that there will not be disintegration in the party. Harisu from Achimota Edie Enie. This one says that please ask Mr. Pius honestly whether NPP should leave Dr. Bawumia, who has been sold, to take another. Let them rally behind the one who is already been sold. Okay, thank you. I've been a listener of this program for a long time. Osofo Akwesi ewo Modena in Italy. The honor the abreye enono. Okay. Let me see. This one says, please inform Pius that Honorable Jamesi has retired, so he should come back to Ketu North. Hey, Ketu North was almost Pius Enam Hadzide. Ekosiisen a higher sempa 94.7 FM. Finally, okay. This one says that Obi, I am Mark Gregor from a Sojaman constituency. I wish to sincerely acknowledge Honorable Pius for his invaluable support in building the AstroTurf for the people of Senchi. His dedication and contribution have made a meaningful impact, and I remain truly grateful. Thank you once again. Okay. Wesa Obi, this is how measured internal political campaign should be. I hope the so-called richest candidate assigns emulate Pius and stop the wanton personality attack on the former vice president. Kwade Elang Community 2 in Tema. Pius is a very good communicator. He nearly convinced me to follow Brian. Charlie. Kofi Etwa Ewo Abeka. Where's Obi? I am Edusei listening from Insawim. Greetings to Honorable Ano Dompre. Quite a number of messages. No numa boy into the man fence here and Yempong. But let me ask you this final question. There are rumors. I mean, one would say very credible rumors. Say the former president Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo and the day Brian Achampong Eba na or supported Brian Achampong were thrown a support behind Brian Achampong. Ona na Edeno Eba.
Wow.
Is there any truth in our sessions?
Wow, Obi. Wow, this is heavy. Well, no Ukraine minim. Minyanti bibiasa.
Okay.
menyanti bibia sa nia metumi aka ene se minim se Yero Abrana Champo oni party akuku dam bebre edin komo
Okay.
Minim se oni Jekufo edin komo
Asempa FM
Jekufo ehra no
Yes.
e ka chen se onkunko nanim enye mi nwanwa se wakọ Yero Akufado enso eho
Okay.
Inti minim se bibisa ba obi metina makacho, but you see obi nanka senka me say that say anka many beju. Look, Akufado, we will go to every elections coming
With his
record, and he has shown that he has the knack for identifying talent. Here Dr. Baumian and Kasan Krano Akufado ne discover no. Now koja politician, he's an astute banker. In fact, Kufo and the kind discover no in a lecture that Dr. Mahmoud delivered in London.
Sure.
And Kufo no, and the deputy governor Ebeto Hono, he asked about him. Now Akufado followed in the stead of Kufoye and brought him into the limelight. Running mate, the longest in our history, 4-term running mate. So if Akufado has the capacity to discover talents who can rise to the high office of vice president and potentially want to be president there. Na se dachi Yero Brian Beka Ashemano se enedie Yero Akufo-Addo any Yero Akufo any party mpenyimfo nyina se onu no mo pe mo fa no kwa. Se sada no se nanka me medwuma no abani ayemra amame because these are the people we have in our party.
Yeah.
And you know, how can you go into an elections and then you see Yero Akufo-Addo, Yero Akufo mo empe wasem. Ube de wini. The structures that we have on the ground today, you know, they belong to them. So media,
it should be a matter of necessity. Say we the support of these people.
I suppose so. Na me kwa me bisano. Na me mebo sumpaye. Look, from the abundance of the heart, and the voices of the people is the voice of God.
Sure.
And you know, we see a man for eka no. Media minti mebo sumpaye. Say be mu pa dia. I tell you, I'll be happy. Look, Akufo-Addo may have nipa.
Yes.
And you know, ebiana nama ba kumienu bi wo ha wanye ni ye. But I'm telling you that it is not in record that his team, the team that he led, the team that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was a part of,
yes,
that team performed wonders in this country. All across sector, agric, sports. Yebebanona astroturf Ghana, we could count them on our fingers. By the time we left, they were in their hundreds. Sports, agric, education. Look at what we have done with free SHS in terms of health, Agenda 111. Sector by sector, in terms of security. I just spoke to you about the Alpha project. Abaybe to me, yes, sir. Yebebano ambulances in Ghana, na endu 30. He left with over 300 ambulances in Edima, Ghana. And if it is true that Akufo-Addo ebe supportu a presidential candidate be na mimi kasama presidential candidate, I think that the presidential candidate's work is half done. But Minyanti, I will pray that something like that happens.
Very well. And it would be, it's just coincidental, sir. Some key guys around Akufo-Addo now are supporting Brian Achampo. It's just coincidental. It is like Nita Ekotego, for example, who is an aide to say Pius Hadzide, for example.
Well,
because I know, sir, now the aides to the former president are more than the 4 aides around him. No, Nita Ekotego Ekaho. He is supporting Brian Achampo. Meaning, sir, Pius Hadzide, true Akufo-Addo boy. You are supporting Brian Achampo. A coincidental, okay.
Coincident media many woman crack as kakra we're too kakra, so we have not had the conversation about this matter.
Okay.
And you know but like I said, it will be a blessing. It will be a blessing. I'm sure any candidate or yes serious should be courting the support of former president. Courting the support, I mean, hey, na presidential campaign, you know, and it takes a lot to. You even need the support of the countries.
Yes.
Oh, Nigeria,
like neighboring
countries, and even outside. So if he places a phone call, I mean, it can help. I believe so. And I think that any serious contender should be working towards cutting the support of not just Akufo-Addo.
Another Akufo-Addo person in the Brian camp, Ekosiisen Agyman, former Ghana Tourism Authority boss.
Now, say party no say Sadia, and everybody in this party is Akufo-Addo, including Dr. Baumia himself. Oh yeah, he was his vice president and running mate. So Onosuka ho, MPs no mo kasa be na be former ministers in the Akufo-Addo government. So,
but are there MPs? Because apart from Honorable OKT, Imprayeso MP,
OPK.
Sorry, Mr. OKT, Asemo. OPK, Imprayeso MP. Ena minim se akro asene akroso asene manso MP Olua, right?
Olua.
Ononso in the Brian camp. Which other MP? No, I know that for a fact.
Obi.
I know that for a
Obi,
fact.
Don't worry about. Don't worry. You see, we know what is happening, and for good reason. We like to play the underdog.
Okay.
And you know, Obi and my main cancel in our bonting ha. Ebi ana obi akofa ho strategy. We know what is happening. And you would dear fanese OPK kura oni Brian. Would dear fanese Oluwa kura no oni Brian. Would dear fanese omo nyina wo baby fufuro. We like to operate like that. Well, we like to operate like that.
On the quiet.
And yeah, me see, yempe dede. Ejuma no wo film. Ejumano osi ahinifo no of him. Delegates, polling station executives, electoral area coordinators, constituency executives, TESCON, the external branches, diaspora for.
Yes.
That those are the people who matter to us the most. Okay. Any other thing is the icing on the cake. And you know, I'm not sure that the strategy is to put forward big names. It even creates an impression of desperation. Be said, who say a man for, but not you know, and the funny part. Debbie, you know, the funny part. And you know,
the submarine, the termite.
You are right. Obi, only magrono, and you know, being kokase who crowd kaya team no. Because your strategy, you know, terminologies here. Brian, you soon now use the termite approach, submarine approach. Maybe I'm okay.
Anyway,
too much.
Anyways, but away from presidential primaries, Ekosiisen Ekosiisen, what was the gap between the NDC candidate, who is now Deputy Finance Minister, right? What you can say?
Oh, there be in the context of Nesi, you know, tsunami na eba, you know. Yeah. Ushemua Ekosiisen. Everybody, every fair observer will admit to say, your boy it was a seat that he had. It was an NDC seat.
Yes.
NPP winning home you know pay.
Okay.
Now we did everything we could to take the seat from Ampemnyako. We have reviewed and we noticed in the terminal days of the elections, no, your structures no collapse.
Okay.
And you know that was our biggest mistake. Coordination gaps. Debre ebemo. And yerano ebedim kunim mi bonabaso.
Okay.
Esai edinyame empire bo enta na chise ankamina mi winia nhihye ya ma yese yede be peja Ekosiisen no. Nyame emfasa nyansa no emfama no. Nyame mano ahonden a obetumi e de aye dwuma no se Ekosiisen efa ne ntuma pa efra enye yewra Ampemnyako ene benya so fasoro enye NDC for ene benya so eye Ekosiisen nyina. So I'm not going to sit here and wish him ill, but so far ushemu pa na amanfo no ehunu se dada na but there's still some time. Your best say onunso no onkenya ne ho kakra. Akwa say finance minister no edie no ye ne de.
I ne de say oye constituency
adwuma no. Nti onkenya ne ho kakra. I wish him well.
Okay.
He will remain my friend. And can me the MP Mpua. I'm sure there will be times I will call on him for guidance.
Yes.
Nti Ekosiisen be se see ane de minim what the future will hold
for you,
for me,
in the politics of Ekosiisen.
Okay. We are still conferring, we are reviewing, and we are talking amongst ourselves.
Okay.
se me na meko bi mu na se nkunimde no beba why not so be fufro and ebeko na nkunimde aba. But we have to be fair and honest in that analysis. And yes, say me na mako na no no chinchina echi. So when the time comes, we will get there. But I can assure you, Sojaman is winnable. The work we have done on the ground, Sojaman is winnable.
The NPP can win.
We can win. We can win. Yeah.
So far, mu free power no. Iyo kwa na se NI before be aton safre.
Opacho debi ubema omeni aba me so ana
so for maton safre obi
I mean yentu sanem frame and so
I don't need fears be out.
No,
okay, that's fine.
No, I don't have any fears at all.
That's fine.
I'll just pray say even omo ye free from Okra no you come to find out in the future say do na ensheda nye bibia sa. I am worried about the processes. Bail as someone what you be ne yire wo se ono mfa 50 million bra ne yire so mfa 30 million
ono mfa 60 million ne yire mfa 20 million
enti wo ka bo mu a
80 million.
I mean say impo say a Bank of Ghana bullion van etwe mu kura na mu ko ji kura mbenya sa ska nyina. So then the thing marks of said the orientation is punitive in design. Say ye twi so because probably we know that ye court na nkasa na de nkosiaga. But if you know you believe the strength of your case here, the courts will pronounce punishment. But it looks like we are using the processes already to exact that kind of
revenge,
punishment. I don't think, and I think it sets a dangerous precedence for our country. And I hope and pray we can begin to look in those areas and just play by the books. Me can say will be young friend and I say young katasu debi, but let's be fair in the applications. Let's be fair in the applications.
Very well. Pius, me nasi bibiani ebesi di nkomo bio. Why? We wish you very, very well.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Ekosiisen is the higher Sempa FM.